Hello.
Hey, who are ya?
My name is Michael. I'm 23 years old. I have mild autism.
Too.
I mean, I'm not surprised necessarily.
What are you gonna sing for us today?
Yeah, this means the world to me because me and my dad, we always had this dream of me coming onto American Idol and, you know, making it big one day. My dad is no longer here, though. He was, I'm sorry, I just get a little emotional. He was brutally murdered by the Colombian cartel. He owed a large sum of money, and he was unwilling to come through with that payment, and so the Colombian cartel grabbed a rope, tied a rope around each one of his limbs, and then attached those to horses, and all of those horses went in a separate direction, and my father ripped apart in front of my eyes. By the way, I was sitting like right there, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then the head of the Colombian cartel walks on over to me, and it's like, this is why you keep your word. And then they shipped me off back to America. And I knew from that point on that I wanted to sing. I wanted to sing for my pa.
Well, people have it. People just have it.
What are you gonna sing for us today?
Yeah, yeah. And today I'm gonna be singing Tom Jones's What's New Pussycat.
Let's do it.
Alright, here we go. What's new Pussycat?
I think we're ready to vote.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
Really?
OMG, yes.
Goodness gracious. Yes.
You're going to Hollywood.
Really? I'm gonna... Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike Travis, aka Randy Jackson's estranged child. American Idol has been a staple of entertainment for over 20 years now. It has given us, as the American public, a way better perspective about how talented people truly are. But it also has given us a way better perspective about how many people can't sing, but think they can sing.
Gloria, you're always on the run now.
The format of these shows are simple. You get a bunch of people that probably sung a few songs at their local talent show in high school. They might have sung a national anthem at a high school football game. They want to make it big. They want to hit the big time. So they go to some random convention center in their hometown, walk into this room that is disconnected from both space and time. They are greeted by the faces of celebrities that respectfully are past the period of anybody giving a fuck about them. It's just what happens for the most part. Dancing with the Stars is where celebrities go for their careers to die. But when it comes to artists, well, American Idol is where they go to die. When label executives see an artist that isn't performing like they need them to, they sit them down like Franklin from Snowfall and just go, I will send you to the fucking American Idol judge panel. What I want to ask, though, when it comes to these shows, is that the goal of the show is to find the next big star. Find somebody that is going to break through in the music industry. I decided to take the liberty of going into each season's winners of American Idol and figure out, has there been any long-term talent produced from this show? We are going to look at the winners of each season, see the trajectory of their career, and most importantly, see if they have produced any bops in their discography.
Not too late to whip it.
Season 1, the very first season of the show, because that's how numbers work. Ryan Seacrest, young and spiffy. Simon Cowell looks like a dickhead just by looking at his face. Also, who is he? Also, who is Randy Jackson? Oh, that's Paula Abdul. The winner of this season was Kelly Clarkson, which to this day, all these years later, is probably still evident that she is not 1A, 1B as the most successful person to come from the show. Kelly Clarkson, after the show, signed with RCA Records. Immediately after the finale, Clarkson released 2 singles, including her coronation song, A Moment Like This, which went on to break a 38-year-old record held by the Beatles for a song's biggest leap to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It jumped up from number 52 to number 1 in just 1 week. Clarkson has enjoyed a successful recording and talk show hosting career since winning, with multiple platinum albums, numerous top 10 hot singles, 3 Grammy Awards, and 5 Emmy Awards. Season 2, Ruben Studdard. The second season was won by Ruben Studdard, who defeated Clay Aiken. Studdard released his coronation song Flying Without Wings after the show, which reached number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100. And this is crazy. Aiken, the runner-up, also received a single with This Is the Night. He was the first non-winning contestant to have a Billboard Hot 100 number 1. It was also the biggest US single of 2003, selling over 1 million copies and reaching 6 times platinum status in Canada, as well as number 1 in New Zealand. Who cares about Canada and New Zealand? This is crazy because I looked up this song and it is the most boring, plain song that you have ever heard in your life. Honest to God, that song is trash. That shit is booty cheeks. Back to Ruben. Ruben, I went into his discography. He's got some bops, okay? He made a lot of gospel music. I'm not the biggest gospel guy, but when I tell you, you could tell that the Holy Spirit is in some of these songs. But the devil definitely made this album cover, though. I mean, look at this thing. Why are you looking at me like that, Ruben? Stop. This song, oh, this song makes you want to go back to church, even though you've been an atheist for 10 years. Just kind of like listen to it. It has a wild name. At first I saw the name and I was like, listen, is this a coming out of the closet kind of moment? But it was more a standing up and preaching kind of moment. After this, though, Ruben did fall off a little bit. He trailed off. Fall off is like aggressive. Trail off is like peaceful. Ruben would be most well known for being on the 15th season of the critically acclaimed show, The Biggest Loser. Season 3, Fantasia Barrino won this season. She's actually been pretty successful. She's got some bops right here, and she still gets work. The Color Purple movie with Haley Bailey. But one thing about doing research for this video that I found kind of crazy, when you look up Fantasia, one of the first few search results that you get is a question. And the question poses, when did Fantasia overdose? Also, how many biological children does Fantasia have?
I knew it, I was holding on the door.
Season 4. Carrie Underwood is probably right there. If she's not 1A, she's 1B to being one of the most successful people to come from the show. She's an 8-time Grammy Award winning artist. Not much that you know who Carrie Underwood is, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the fun ones. Season 5, Taylor Hicks. Taylor Hicks won this season, and boy, is he the Anthony Bennett of American Idol up until this point. Not even 2 years after winning American Idol, he was performing on Broadway, performing in Greece, which, if we are being honest, Broadway is great in everything, but if we are being incredibly honest and incredibly transparent, he was essentially drafted number 1 overall, and 2 years in, he got sent to the G League, down to the minors. Also, another thing about Taylor Hicks is he was in an episode of Special Victims Unit in which he plays himself on a mock American Idol setup, which is hilarious to think that Ice-T and Taylor Hicks are both involved in a Special Victims Unit episode.
What you say?
Season 6, Jordan Sparks. Listen, she might not be the most popular, but when you look at the bops under her belt, oh, No Air, One Step at a Time, Tattoo, Battlefield. If you saw any movie in the late 2000s, I'm telling you right now, Jordan Sparks was on the soundtrack. One thing that I did find, though, that I had forgotten, it was a few years ago, I was a baby. Jordan Sparks dated Jason Derulo. Yes, guy from TikTok, Jason Derulo. Apparently, Jason Derulo had, like, a music career before his, like, really popular, like, TikTok stuff started popping off, and he dated Jordan Sparks, and that's really cool, you know, because Jason Derulo, he put in all this work into his music career, and nothing came of it, but he just shows that if you work hard and you stay passionate about what you do, you eventually will get recognition for what you care about, and hard work pays off.
Look at this graph.
Season 7. David Cook. I thought this guy was Dane Cook. I checked. He's not. I also thought that he was the dude from One Direction. I checked. He's not. After David Cook won American Idol, not a whole lot for him. Put out some music, of course, afterwards, but not much. He did have this one song, though, called Time of My Life, which, to me personally, sounds like if Nickelback made a song for weddings.
I love you, bitch.
Season 8, Chris Allen. Chris Allen, he had the hit song Live Like We're Dying. And not much after that, I'm going to be honest with you.
Hey, y'all get some more drinks going on. I sound a whole lot better.
Season 9, Lee D. Wise. Lee D. Wise is known after he won American Idol as one of the winners to have the least profitable career afterward. He is known for having one of the lowest album sales amongst people that have won the show. He did have a song that was in The Walking Dead, though. And I was looking on his Instagram to see how he's doing as of late. And he kind of just posts like weird guitar riffs, go on for a little too long. Like he's just sitting there tuning the guitar for like 2 minutes, and then he just like is poorly playing the guitar. Season 10, Scott McCreery. He is the youngest winner of American Idol, and he looks like Neville from iCarly and Glenn Powell, both at the same time. He released his platinum debut album, Clear as a Day, later that year. The country singer released 3 studio albums, including his 2018 album, Seasons Change. He has toured with Brad Paisley, the band Perry, and the Rascal Flatts. He's pretty successful. He's got 4 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
If I gave you all my love, I say would that make you happy, baby?
Season 11, Philip Phillips. Phillips won Season 11 in 2012. On the season finale, he performed his song, Home, which became Idol's biggest selling coronation song. The song appeared on his debut album, The World from the Side of the Moon, which hit number 2 on the Billboard charts. I did not know that this was the Gone, Gone, Gone dude.
And I will do it for you.
Honestly, song Home, everybody pretty much knows. Gone, 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 everybody knows that song. He's got 2 like very certified bops. So I would say that's a success. I can't say that for everyone that's come on the show. The Georgia native was also in a legal battle over his contract with American Idol. Brings up a very good point. A big controversy when it comes to the show American Idol comes to the contract disputes and the contract situation that comes up once the winner wins the show. According to Newsweek, the winner of American Idol receives a record deal from Disney-owned Hollywood Records. Runner-up artists also sometimes get signed to the label. The outlet reported that artists receive $125,000 upon signing a contract, and another $125,000 when they finalize a debut album within 4 months, along with $300,000 advance budget to record. The winner also earns $1,000 per week during the recording process and receives $1,000 for each master recording of a song they deliver to Hollywood Records. You might look at that as, that's a pretty sweet deal. But for somebody that is winning a show called American Idol, that is not as lucrative as a deal as you would think that would come from it. It is in a stipulation when it comes to the contracts of this show. They have to put out their debut album within a matter of 4 months after winning the show. And if you don't understand music, you would understand that that is an incredibly short time to make an album. Considering that a lot of these people are very new and raw to the music industry, they don't know everything that comes into making songs, making an album a cohesive thing. And so if you just make it a time crunch, 4 months, you just gotta make an album, it's not gonna deliver that well. And with the show holding less and less weight throughout the years, you can see how these artists that come after don't really get off the ground in any which way. Candace Glover won the show after Philip Phillips, released a debut album, not a lot after that, Broadway. Caleb Johnson released his debut album Testified just 2 months after wrapping the season. The North Carolina native parted ways with his record label the following year. And now he's in some band that's like named Johnny Boy and the Corduroy Boys, whatever. Nick Fradini, nothing. Trent Harmon, which was the original Idol's farewell season. Maybe the send-off American Idol winner will really hit home. Oh, he hit home, all right. he hit back home to do jack shit. Maddie Pope, she won. She put out her first studio album, Whirlwind, in 2019, and then joined, I don't know who that is. Lane Hardy. Season 17 winner was crowned in 2019. He followed up his win with his debut single, Flame. He headlined his own tour? Okay. Just Sam, the winner of the quarantine season of American Idol, which is like, why does American Idol need to have a quarantine season? And then you're like, oh yeah, 2020 actually was a real thing that happened. Just Sam won American Idol almost 3 years ago. And recently, Just Sam was seen in the subways of New York City asking for money and singing. Cases like Just Sam are a very big case of why a show like American Idol does not show a lot of stability for the most part. So, you might be wondering, how can such a legitimate and trustworthy organization / show that provides such a quick and fast rocket ship to the top of the music industry not be as stable and as lucrative as one might think? I mean, dude, look at that confetti. They gotta be treating me good. But this is kind of just like a point of a philosophy that I have on these kinds of shows for the most part. When it comes to an American Idol, The Voice. In the 90s and 2000s, a manager and label had so much control when it pertained to the artist. They were way more dependent on the success of the artist and how far they would go in the music industry. They would set them up with the best producers, the best songwriters, make them do silly dances. But one man would change the music industry forever. Soulja Boy was the first prominent artist to be birthed due to the internet. Frank, that was a sensation. Soulja Boy was making waves. He was dropping hits. He was wearing shorts that are actually pants. But what Soulja Boy did not tell you, in fact, how the music industry would change and how an artist would be able to develop, become big, and become prominent in the years to come. Now in the music industry, the labels and managers, they don't build up an artist, they build upon an artist. It's really up to the artist to garner any following, any notoriety through their music videos, their branding, their marketing. All of that has to be shown before even papers are signed. And if a label or whatever backs an artist totally and provides them immediate assistance in their career, you know what they're called? Industry plants. They are looked at as phony and carbon copy, inauthentic. Imagine calling a popular artist in the 90s and 2000s an industry plant. You would be looked at like an absolute buffoon, a moron. With this knowledge, we can now look at a show like American Idol that is going on to this day and realize that it is not a show meant for discovering the next big American music star. It's a show. It's a show that's meant to entertain, convey emotions, and hell, have characters from previous seasons come back on, make appearances, because if we're being honest, that's all they can really do now. So have American Idol had artists that have succeeded? I guess, yeah. None this decade, I'd say. But American Idol is washed, like an old washcloth at your grandparents' house. The model just doesn't really hold up anymore. It simply is just a show to entertain people, showcase some guy with a lot of trauma, have commercials play in between, and something to get Katy Perry working.